You think you know everything about Blackrock right now because you've probably heard all these YouTube videos and all these podcasts talking about it. I'm going to go over some stuff that you probably haven't heard. Plus, I'm going to go over one fact of the FOMC meeting that you definitely haven't heard yet. But you know what? It's kind of funny. When we had that crash yesterday, I went on our CT Club, which is our paid membership. If you want to check, the link is below. But we've been in INJ for a while, so that's one of the alts that I've been stacking up heavily since just like $1 or $2, right? So we got it. I got it for $5.50. I said the day before, hey, I'm looking to buy this at $5.50. It hit $5.48, and that was great. I could have hit it the very bottom, but I just missed it by a touch. So anyways, let's get into this. This is going to be a lot. All right. So the FOMC meeting. So the Fed has never paused rate hikes and then raised it right again. Right? So it's never paused and gone, okay, a couple months later they raised the Fed fund rate. It's never happened before. That usually marks the top, okay? So everybody that thinks, oh my gosh, Fed Powell is leaving room for more Fed rate hikes, well, no, not necessarily, because if this is going to be the first time in history, then yeah, potentially, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So moving on to Blackrock. So $9 trillion or $10 trillion, who knows? Some people say 9 trillion, some people say $10 trillion asset manager. They are filing for a Bitcoin ETF. Now, I did a post before all of this stuff happened on my Twitter, if you want to check me out, at Sir Crypto Tips. I wrote a long post because Heidi and I were talking after dinner last night. We're thinking there's a reason why Blackrock is getting into this, right? And I think what we put out publicly before all of this happened was that Blackrock wants to be the only game in town. So I wouldn't be surprised if they completely kick out Binance and everything else, and they become the Fed Reserve, essentially, central banks, which is Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, BlackRock. BlackRock pretty much controls the entire globe. They control the narrative. Now, check this out. So 6 years ago, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. He literally called Bitcoin the index of money laundering when Bitcoin was at $6,000. Today, they just filed for an ETF. So AP Abacus on Twitter has a lawyer friend, and he said this. This is exactly what I said last night. Okay, I'm not predicting this, but there is a non-zero chance that the SEC expeditiously approves BLK ETF application and moves to dismiss Grayscale lawsuit and avoid any adverse precedent. What Heidi and I were talking about yesterday is that we think BlackRock, it's already a done deal. Like there's no real application. There might be an application to show everyone or whatever, but it's already been approved. These guys own the regulators. They own the US. So they don't have to have permission really, okay? So if they're gonna play the game, right, and just say, yeah, we applied for the application, we got it. Yeah, it's already been approved. In my opinion, I'm 90% sure of that. Next, keep in mind that this Bitcoin ETF is not a Bitcoin spot ETF, which means it's not real Bitcoin. And essentially, they bought up 29,000% more of their master MSTR, which is MicroStrategy's stock, to get exposure to Bitcoin. So 29,000% increase in that. How are people bearish right now? This is why I bought the dip yesterday while everybody and their mother was telling me you're crazy, stupid, whatever. I didn't care. I'm like, well, I like it when there's panic in the streets, and if you're a CT Club member, you know that I like that. So let's go over to Miles Doucher. He has a very good tweet on this. He says, the SEC is killing crypto. I would say in the US, so that they can control crypto in the US. Cut the on and off ramps to starve the ecosystem of liquidity, which they are doing very well, limiting existing crypto businesses' earnings, which they're very much succeeding on that, create a dubious regulatory environment to deter new startups from entering the space. They are successful in doing that. Purposefully deny regulatory licenses and crypto businesses, plus take legal action against them. Yes. Pave the way for TradeFi institutions to take over the space by granting them appropriate approval. Today, Blackrock filed for a BTC ETF. The SEC doesn't like the idea of crypto cowboys controlling the industry. They'd rather give licenses to companies that they can control. Now, what would this mean, right? So, in other words, what I said at the beginning and what I said in my tweet a while back is that this is going to destroy regular exchanges in the US. That's why they are going overseas, because they're realizing, wow, Wall Street is going to own this game and they are going to be in full control over the crypto industry, essentially. Except in the US. This is in the US. Heidi keeps saying in the US, and I have to remind myself, yes, because the rest of the world is going to have much more free reign over crypto, and that's what I've been saying over and over and over again. We're called anti-American, all this stuff, and we're just telling you guys the truth. We see what is happening right now, and this is very serious. Now, lastly, I want to go over what it means to have a Bitcoin ETF. You want to know some history? Let's go over to the gold ETF when it first started in 2004. The gold market cap in 2004, before the ETF, gold ETF, was $1 trillion, okay? After the ETF in 2021, $11 trillion. So if $10 trillion of demand came from an inflation hedge, not industrial use, this is going to be interesting for Bitcoin. Abso-freaking-lutely, guys. Like, I don't know how to explain it enough, and that is why we've been buying in the from $16,000 up to now. We've been so bullish on this space, and I think it's just going to continue. And me personally, I don't think you're going to have the opportunity to have 8 to 12 months of accumulation. That's just my personal stance. I think Bitcoin is going to surprise a lot of people, and this is going to be the loneliest bull market we have ever seen in our lives. Anyways, that's all I have. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.